Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 579, and today we're doing battle with the Ranger in Backpack Battles. And so, if you missed our update video yesterday, quick update for what will be happening over the course of the next few months with the channel. We will be playing Backpack Battles until the release of the Bazaar. The Bazaar should be coming out in the beta scene in either September or October. I can't quite remember which it was. I think I bought into the early access, so we should get beta access then, and that's what I intend on making content with going forward. If for whatever reason we don't like the Bazaar, we'll probably kind of bounce around in things until Slay the Spire 2 comes out in 2025 and try to main that for a while. But between now and the Bazaar's release, we'll be playing Backpack Battles. I really enjoy Backpack Battles. The mechanics between the two games with Backpack Battles and the Bazaar are quite similar. Both of them are drafting style games with the shop where we're purchasing items. Both of them have the inventory management aspects, and then they have the asynchronous auto battles where you watch your backpack fight the other team's backpack. And so very interesting and fun stuff to me. And so let's move forward. Let's move on. I kind of in Diamond right now. I've been jumping back into the game. When we played Backpack Battles the last time, I think it was on the class badge patch. And I think 2 or 3 major patches have hit since then, and I think the game actually hit official release since then as well. And so I'm still kind of getting my feet wet again with the knowledge it takes to remember the combinations and the strategies and stuff. And so we're going to have a bit of a learning curve over the course of the next couple of weeks, but I'm pretty certain we can shoot up the ranks, see if we can't get that little Grandmaster icon down there next to Butt Stuff 420. Grandmaster Butt Stuff 420 just has a nice ring to it. And so we'll see if we can't do it with all the classes or at least one of them. But nonetheless, off to battle with the Ranger, jump into the game. Let's see what turns up. Not a particularly exciting shop here at the beginning. I'm on board with the garlic on sale. The on sale hammer just doesn't really do it for me. I don't like hammer builds within the Ranger class, so we'll skip over it. And then I'm looking forward just to like rolling and seeing what turns up next. And so we might as well take the stone. It costs 1. We can get our money right back out of it, and then it's a reasonable food start from this point forward. I'm always happy with these banana starts. There's a lot of early starts that just can't beat a banana. Sounds very sexual. Go out here and beat your banana for a bit, but we'll get that out of the way. And then with what remains, it's a bit of a bummer. Like, I don't want to turn the wooden sword into the torch. I don't want to pick up the broom or the healing herbs without them being on sale. And so I think we're just push forward from here. Hope that we get kind of lucky on this initial round, and then we'll still have that money built up for the next turn. I just don't want to be wasting that extra money here early, since the broom doesn't play well with the Ranger class. I'm not quite certain if we want to be going after healing potions yet, so I don't want the herbs. Just a very awkward start for us here. All right, let's see what turns up. I don't think we can beat this. You see some of these starts and you're able to just kind of like out-sustain them, but our banana's not going to do it with this one. They have too much powers coming at us, and so not really surprised to see us lose that opening round. Again, that start was kind of garbage, but we do at least get a little bit of direction with how things start here. I'm always happy to pick up this early bag. The pan and the carrot do kind of send us towards a food start here, which I'm reasonably happy enough to go towards with the Ranger, so we'll see how that pans itself out. Otherwise, I think I'll just pick up the pocket sand here. It's a reasonable early game item. We can get most of the money back when we eventually want to sell it, and we'll see how that pushes forward. And so touch a bag maintenance here. Get this pan up and running. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Something like that. A 3 stack on the pan. Most of these are aligned pretty well. Sure, I'm on board. All right, up against the thorns, bro. This is what I was kind of talking about in the previous round, as to where you start to see a lot of these shell totems in the early game that don't actually deal any damage, and they just kind of soak up a lot of the stamina out of the opponent. And so it looks like we're going to get boomed here again. We can't overcome the thorns that the opponent put forth, but that's what I was kind of hoping we would be able to fight through in those earlier rounds, to where the banana can let you just come in and sustain for a bit. And so, pushing forward, the walrus tusk is kind of fine. I don't want to upgrade it with the gloves of haste. The thing I'm kind of seeing on this board is we do have the gloves of haste whetstone into the wooden sword, looking to pick up a falcon blade off of it, and getting kind of halfway there sounds good enough to me. We'll pick up the tusk because it's on sale. We'll pick up the stone just because it costs one, but we'll take a roll with the intent that we're probably gonna sell some of this stuff back off. And so yeah, we'll get rid of the walrus tusk. I think there is the spiked shield combo. I guess there is a lot of decent stuff on this board. Maybe we look to just reserve the leather bag and reserve the wooden buckler, and then move from there. Oh shit! I just realized my face covers up some of this stuff here. Maybe. maybe that'll work out a little bit better and you can see the whole shop. I'll have to get I'm a little bit out of sorts in terms of my preparedness, and so you have to bear with me a little bit. Let's see. It's the big decision here. Like, I'm kind of opposed to selling some of this stuff. The problem is, like, we can only really sell to 3. If we want to sell the stone, the pocket sand, and then the other stone, we get up to 3, and we can't get both the bag and the buckler, which is a bit of a bummer. Let's see how we can manage this a little bit. So if we're rolling something like this, we can stack up both items onto the whetstone, and then we aren't missing out on any more food. And so we are missing out on 1 star on the banana. I think that's probably okay. Where's that walrus tusk? Do we want to come in and pick up the thorns? Probably not. Let's just stick with these. Let's do the pocket sand and then the crit. Okay, I'm on board with this. And then we've reserved the leather bag and the wooden buckler. Seems like a nice start. It's like I see the bow and I'm like, you can still pivot out of food. You're not locked into food at this point just because you had that one good round earlier. But I think this is okay. I think we should be able to outdo. Is this the necromancer? I can never remember this stupid thing's name. I wanted to call it the warlock. That's all I remember from the last time we were playing backpack battles. I called this thing the warlock, completely wrong. But finally, something that we could get through. Somebody that just didn't have enough damage output to come in and stop us. But all right, we got our bag, we got our buckler, we got an on sale pocket sand up top. Let's snatch that one up. Pick up one more roll and see if anything good makes an appearance. And another banana I am happy with. And so we're kind of getting places. This is tough. It's like I kind of want to like keep the falcon blade ideal around, but I'm kind of ready to give up on it as well. Maybe we just stick with like the whetstone short sword so that we have ways to come out and spend the stamina, right? I don't want to go into this battle and have our only damage capabilities be like the thorns off the walrus tusk and then the pan. And so it's like I do want to keep the wooden sword, and then the whetstone is quite nice in what should be a fairly sustained heavy style of round, but still not as awesome as I want it to be. So let's see here. I'm looking to get these bananas online, see if we can't get the upgrade spaces happening. That's at least a little better. Pretty heavy backpack full of stuff at this point. But we're out of monies. Really need another bag. Alright, let's see how it goes though. Hopefully this 1 thorns along with all of this sustain will be kind of nice. What is this? This guy's gonna run out of stamina so fast with the shovel and the axe. I think that we're okay here. I don't think he's going to be able to fight through this. We'll see if we sustain through the battle rage, but that's a very stamina heavy build that he has, and whenever he's hitting with the shovel, we just heal right back up through it. And so I think we'll be okay here. We made it through. All right, all right. So what do we got? Here's the whetstone to make the hero sword. We've also got a nice stamina sack to snatch up as well. That's good. That's good. Now, how else do we want to go about this? I think we still look to take a roll. Right, I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to sell at this point. I want to get rid of the 2 stones and then the 2 pocket sands that should sell for like 4, right? 1, 1, and believe it or not, it's another 1. So let's pick up this onion. Might get it down, take a roll. We whiffed. I guess we're kind of stuck at that point. Bummer. But we've at least got some pretty good direction here. Let's see if we can't maximize on our pan just a little bit. Something like that looks better. Getting wrapped up in these carrots and stuff, that seems pretty good. Get this clover back in as well. All right, it's starting to come together. And so we still need to find a way to kind of upgrade the pan. As far as the pans go and the builds that you get with the Ranger, I would definitely prefer the stamina potion one as opposed to the poison one. But you can get kind of deep into these and just still be stuck with your initial pan, and so we'll have to see what kind of comes of that. Getting annihilated by the opponent here, bit of a bummer. We're struggling. We gotta get that like build around direction fast. And so with this, like I don't want the potion belt. It's just too expensive at this point for a bag, so I'm gonna skip over it. And we gotta find something that really just like helps this build pop off. Be it a potion for the pan, another gloves for the hero sword. It's just like, this is a build that's pretty good on like turn 3, but as we start to run into the mid game where we pick up our class item, then we feel pretty far behind. Seeing the blood amulet on sale is a bit of a bummer. We're not going to take advantage of it here. We'll pick up the fanny pack. Just the bonus speed bags are kind of nice. And man, kind of a bummer. I'm curious if we like. We haven't pushed for the empowered build, but seeing this on sale and practically large greatsword does kind of make me want to push away from what we're doing and then just go after this thing. It is a bummer that we haven't picked up those shell totems to pick up the early round empowered and have this thing pop off, but man, we've been talking about needing some direction, and then just having this thing pop up at this point, I'm kind of on board with it. Like I just our build right now doesn't really do anything, and with it being on sale, like we can just replace it later, right? So let's get rid of these stones, pick this thing up, and we can still stamina with our friend here and not be completely out. Now it kicks up to high if we add in the hero sword. I'm trying to think of how this would play out. Like, getting the 2 damage onto the greatsword isn't that spectacular, right? It's not a real attack speedy kind of item. But the rest of our bag kind of sucks. I'm curious at what point we would need, like, how many bananas it would take to sustain through this. What is this, like 1 stamina a second and then half? So it's like 1.5 a second. So we blast through our stamina in like 4 seconds without anything else happening. We probably ought to just stick with the greatsword. We can attack speed it up quite a bit, though. So let's get this rearranged just a little bit. I do want the gloves of haste on both the greatsword and a banana. After that, this seems kind of reasonable. All right, well, let's see, let's see what happens with this pivot. This is not the way I intended for this to go, but, you know, life gives you lemons. Look at that. Look at that massive crit just roll through. That at least feels kind of nice, right? That feels kind of nice. That thing blasted through hard. Okay. So how are we going to push forward here? Do we want to do anything with the prismatic orb? We can't get it updated very quickly. And man, yeah, it just feels like such a bummer that we've missed out on those shell totems from the early game, but I think we have to skip over that. Now, the interesting thing here is we do have access to a falcon blade. The gloves of haste turned up, and I think that we can just kind of deal with this. It does suck quite a bit to have the greatsword miss on a swing, but I think I'm just going to go with this falcon sword along with the gloves of haste, and then look to really just stack up the stamina where we can, and then we're going to go for the clovers on the mid game, so that we can look to just stack crit on the greatsword and then crit with it over and over and over again. Like, I think I'm on board with that. So with that in mind, I do want to pick up the gloves of haste. We will stack in onto this hero sword. There is an acorn collar. I think we'll probably want it as well. I again want to just like stack up as much crit as we can onto the greatsword, and that's going to let us do it. I typically don't like purchasing this unless it's on sale. But I think it's going to be critical, if you will, in terms of what we're trying to pull off here. How do we want to get this going? Let's see. I'm wanting to get like double gloves of haste onto the greatsword, and then we can also get the falcon blade up and running. I'm not going to be able to get the acorn collar onto both, but we can get it onto our guy up top here. And then, is there any space left over? Like, I kind of want to get both of these gloves of haste onto a banana, but we got to be too close to the falcon blade to pull that off. So let's at least get the one banana underneath. We can add another item here to the left. We can double get this stuff going with the banana here to the right. Pocket sand. I'm curious if we shouldn't just take like one more roll to see what we hit, right? Because we're going to sell the pan, we're going to sell the pocket sands at some point, and then we can get 4 out of the shield if we have something turn up. Okay. Something turned up, right? We got the bag. That's not horrible. All right, I think that was a decent pivot. I think we're in a decent spot now. I'm curious to see how bad the how bad the stamina treats us in this next round. Like, I like where this is going, but I have major concerns. Just fucking trucked him with one. It's kind of holding up, right? Now we're getting to the point though to where it's gonna yeah, we just out of stamina on our greatsword once. It's getting some big chunks of damage in though. Ah, God damn it. He got the final blast in. We were so close. So close it came right down to the edge. He got his final strike in just before our greatsword hit. And so yeah, we're gonna pick up the Grove Keeper, try and stack as much crit up onto this greatsword as we can. And then that's all we're going to be looking to do is hit the clovers for the crit, and then stack up as much damage as we can on the greatsword. Now, the thing that will be kind of interesting is we feel kind of weak right now because we can't sustain off of this. We're lacking in the vampirism, but I'm really hoping that if we can get up to this 15 clover space, that we'll be able to pop off. And like once you get the random buffs and then you hit vampirism, and then the vampirism ties into the greatsword, I think that might work out for us. And so we'll see. We'll see. We at least got a plan. So do we want to pick up health potions? I'm not really amped about them. I'm not opposed to picking up like one, but we don't have anything to upgrade it at this point. We didn't find any of the healing herbs that were on sale, and so I'm not really interested in it, I don't think. But we'll take another bag. We'll take a banana. That all sounds good. $4 left. Let's take one more roll and see what turns up. Nothing spectacular. Not opposed to picking up an oil lamp if it's on sale, but it's not critical in this build. Again, it's something that works better on faster attack speed things and not quite what this greatsword does. Let's see. How are we going to start to stack this up? It's like I want to be able to get a little bit of bonuses on the left side of the falcon blade, but I kind of want to push our whole bag to the left as much as we can. Like if we use that as a kind of a start, right? Then we're gonna have the falcon blade underneath, and then just the kind of generic active things I would like to have to the left. I guess we can kind of wrap it in food this way. Let's do this. We get the crit thing, and we can start putting stuff around the blade. We want to get as many bananas on this thing as we can. So I think we can get one more hex in at the top. So that's starting to come together, right? We got the 3 bananas on the blade. All the other spaces are taken up as best as we can, I think. Got to get our mega clover onto the board. Okay, fam. Okay. Well, we got our direction. Do a little bit more cleanup. There we go. All right. Let's see how fast we can just lose this one now, huh? Another Mega Clover build. He's tied into it a little bit more with his bow, but let's see these big crits start to roll through. It's what life's all about. Just nuked his health right there. Oof, that felt good. That felt good. I think we're kind of getting there, and so we just need more lucky clovers, and then we need to come up with so some ways to ensure our sustain keeps running. And so nice on sale bag. I do typically like the flutes with these mega clover builds because you have so many of the lucky clovers running around, and then it can help you hit that 15. But we're kind of like lacking space at this point. I mean, maybe it's okay. Like we can flute up here at the top, kind of in this way. Still hits a lot of stuff. Okay. The fanfare is not nearly as interesting, but there is an acorn collar, which again I'm kind of interested in the sense that we really want this greatsword to crit every single time. The thing that I could look at with the acorn collar is to say pick it up now and then just sell it later, right? Because whenever you're like really stacking up with the clovers, you'll max out on crit with these things, and you don't really need 2 of them. But I think it's probably just super important right now at this point, and so let's incorporate this as well. We can get that to fit in on both things. Want to switch the banana around that way. This is where things are going to get a little problematic, is we'll miss out on a little bit down here at the bottom. All right, something like that's probably close enough. We got an empty space out here. Let's go ahead and just get the pocket sands out of the way. I don't know. I guess it's like half covered at this point. It's not awesome, but it's not awesome, but I think it's probably good enough. All right, let's dive. See if those big crits come in. What's this guy even doing? Really counting on those pets. Right, there was a massive. I saw that 94 roll through. 94 into 150 is not a bad strike. Okay, we're getting there. So we got a little bag. Nothing else here really ties into the theme. We just need bag space, and then we need we need the yellow potions at this point. Gotta turn up at some point, right? Don't quite want the carrots. It's like it's a little tempting to pick up the carrot just because it gives us a way to take blinds off, right? If we like have a minus 25% chance to hit and just miss with the greatsword, sucks so incredibly much, but it's just not quite on theme with what we're trying to hit. There is the gen lamp, which we could stop and take. Another fantastic one for the greatsword to hit those big crits. We'll look towards that. Alright, so our food stack's kind of done. I'm also just kind of ready to start moving on from these onion type things. We're not going to be able to afford the gen lamp this turn, so this should just be kind of like the last round that we're sticking with this stuff. It's been exceptionally unfortunate in that we haven't seen any of the potions we need to really sustain with our big sword, but kind of is what it is. Looks reasonable enough down here. The flute's just barely topping this next to bottom row, so these onions are still leveling up our food and not taking up 2 slots on the flute stars. It's only missing out on 1 star at this point. Look at that. Look at that. We figured it out, huh? we got the max stars on this flute. That's what we're looking to do. It seems okay. All right. All right. I like where this is going. I like how our bag is set up. We've got the things we need to do here. Another fairly sustained heavy comp, trying to do a lot of stuff with Thorns. Thorns not that great against the great swords. Look at that massive crit just roll through. Feels good. Feels good, fam. Now, how do we feel about the Gingerbread Jerry? This is an interesting one in the sense that we typically can't pick up things like the flames, but if we hit on our clover, right? If we hit on the Mega Clover when we get those 15 buffs, we can activate that second ability on Jerry. But like, do we even really want to hit these stats, right? Start a battle 40 maximum health, not that interested in. Using the Clover, the Flame, and the mana to get one empowered essentially is not that great. I think we can look to skip over top of Jerry here. I don't think he fits into the theme of what we're trying to pull off. But we do have an on-sale flute. Definitely picking that up. Now we need to just find a little bit more bag space, and hopefully we can start to pop off with this stuff. Got a little bag. Oh shit, we rolled past the gen lamp. I guess I didn't save it. Whoops. Don't quite want any of these. They're all just a little bit off theme. And we've got another flute, but if we want to get our flutes on board, we're gonna have to just deal with some of we're gonna have to kind of deal with some of these crappy bags. There's a lot of stuff in here that we want, though. We want the bag space, we want the flute, we want the heroic potion. It's an interesting space, just given that I'm trying to think of how we just make this fit. Like, going up to 3 flutes does seem pretty decent. It helps with our sustain problems incredibly. So I think, well, if we just kind of give up on the potion belt for the round, where does that get us? We don't have to move the banana. Like, we can get the one flute running in this space. And we still need to try and figure out how to get this other one going. It would probably need to look something like this. Our crit staff would fall off of the greatsword, but I think that that's okay. And then we can try and just fix this next round. Okay. Okay. Again, like, I'll have to see what the crit chance is on the greatsword. We just may not even need the second one. Where does it stand? Right, so we get the 10% for the ranger's bag. We get the 10% plus 3 for every clover, and so we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just call it 8 clovers, so that should be at like 35%. And then 8 times 5 is 40, so that gets us up to like 75. I guess that's close enough. So if we're gonna call that close enough, do we want to just sell? No, hang on. We can. Like, we can't just like sell the acorn collar and pick up the potion belt just to get some more of this stuff on board. I mean, maybe that's fine, but I really want that crit to be up to 100%, so maybe it's not fine. All right, we'll stop it there. I feel like I'm trying to convince myself that that's the way to go, and I feel like I'm just going to regret it if we ever pull the trigger on that. And so I think this is good. This is a decent place to go. We got the heroic potion. We're up to 3 flutes to really help with our stamina problems. Let's just push the button before we fuck this up. Now, an interesting space as well is we did have another impractically large greatsword in there. It is kind of interesting to have 2 of them up and running. So if you run into this space to where you miss on one in terms of stamina, then you have the second one kind of like coming in quickly if they're staggered to where if one misses, the second one should be able to hit. It is a massive amount of space that it takes up, but I wanted to kind of call it out since it was hanging out on as an option there. All right, so how do we feel about this? The thing with like corrupted crystals is it's become a very interesting item in this patch in the sense that there's a lot of heal comps running around with all of the new healing items added within this patch, and getting this It's not listed on this, but a lot of the dark items have the neg to healing. The most common one you're going to see is using the Cap of Discomfort to reduce your opponent's healing by 30%. And I'm kind of interested in seeing, like, picking it up at some point. Like, with this thing on sale, we probably just have to snatch it at this point. We can put it on our Greatsword if nothing else. I think I also want to just pick up a Blood Amulet. Just a one-slot item to get those 2 points of Vampirism seems pretty decent to me. Alright, and then a bag to cap things off. I don't think we want the cat here, right? Godly or unique? What is it? It is godly on the Greatsword. And then we get to resist crits from the opponent. Let me stop and ponder on that. Let me see how the board looks at this point. Right, let's get this onion out of here. We're not going to use it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clovers, so we'll just call it 10. So that would be 40 off of the Greatsword and then 50 off of the acorn collar. So I mean, we are pretty close to just capping out. Kind of like the anti-crit thing in here. It's like if we're just speed running on the damage that we can deal to the opponent, then stopping one crit does seem like a pretty big deal. So like we could sell the acorn collar just to pick up the cat. Okay. Sells for 3 onions can go. Gets us to 5. We'll pick up the cat. So at this stage, do we also want to just get rid of this carrot? Like, all I really want out of these bananas at this point is to upgrade them into the heroic potions. I think we probably just stop here. Having the counter crit right now is... hang on. We can just put you in here like this, right? What's that do? Get you to 36? Alright, I'm going to do it. Fuck it. There we go. There we go. That's looking decent now, right? We'll just get more clovers. 1, 2, 5, 9. So we're up to a base 10. That's pretty much max crit at this point. Okay, I'm on board. I'm on board. Alright, off to battle. So what do we got? This looks like some kind of slow fatigue comp. I think we shut this down pretty hard. Rushed him. Easy game, am I right? Okay, moving on. Another heroic potion. Glad to add that to the stack. Do we want to keep picking up bananas at this point? Like, I don't want bananas on board anymore, but I do want to continue to upgrade our potions. And so, just having one, we could probably live without it. So what do we got? Another blood amulet. Should we want to pick that up? I'm not opposed to it. It's a little expensive at this point, but I don't hate it. Just get it. Just kind of guarantee that we get that that 4 vamp right at the start. I'm having trouble convincing myself. It's just the thing that we really need. Like, I don't want this utility. It's not going to last. We want more flutes. We want more clovers. And then we want stuff to just upgrade the Greatsword. And if it doesn't do any of those, I think we skip past it. Now, I still am fine to add in like a Cap of Discomfort if it turns up. But this is just a little utility heavy on the Blood Amulet. But I will come in and get this Potion Belt. We do need to fill out the rest of our bags. We'll take one more roll and see if anything interesting turns up. Not quite. So let's just move on. Alright, I'm not super worried about whatever the Falcon Blade is upgrading at this point. We just don't have that many items actually left. Looking good. Where do we start here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not getting the immediate buff start, but we do hit it fairly quick with the triple flute up and running. Alright, battle time. Doesn't seem like we're doing anything to this guy. He's sustaining through everything that we're doing. He's getting too much heal coming back through. Bummer. I was trying to look at this comp and be like, what's this thing even fucking do with the... Like, I see the double mana thirst with the magic torch. That's fine. He's doing, like, so much heal. off of this vampirism, though. Up to vampirism 10 with the fast attacks. Gets the bonus off of this. Oh, I thought this was a ranger. Okay. Good stuff. See if we can't make it through the base round here. We're so close. We're so close. Got a bag. Here's the gen lamp that we kind of missed out on the last round. I think we can pick this stuff up and make these things work out. It's going to be a bit of awkward positioning. We're going to have to move some of this stuff. Right. It's gonna just, let's be real. We're gonna have to rework so much of this. Always a bummer to have it roll through that way, but I think this will be fine. We got the gen lamp, the cat, that looks good. Can kick this blood amulet up one more. We should not have any trouble getting this cat up to the appropriate amount. We are gonna have to put the potion thing awkwardly across the top so that we can fit the flutes in. I guess we could technically move the flute down 1 hex so that we can still just get like the single buff off of this, but let's be real, a single random buff is not going to it's not going to convince me that I want to sit around and rearrange the bag again and again and again just for the single buff. And so we'll skip over that. We'll call out the optimal play. Definitely won't make it. And so do as I say, not as I do. Close as the cat. We got to get 6 more stat on the cat. Now it's up to 40. Okay. That stack will work with the empowered potions. Get these clovers up and running. Even got space for the pocket sand. Okay, seems decent. Kind of maxed out where we can be. Guess we can get that guy down here just to pick up those extra stars on the flutes. Looks decent. I don't hate it enough to do anything else about it. So yeah, it's good enough, you know. That's how you hit the Grandmasters. You just say, yeah, it's good enough, you know. Alright, up against the pets. Looks like we're getting burnt down here pretty quick. Not bad. Not bad run with the Greatsword. And so, like, the thing that I'll say with this before the LP comes up, I'm not certain if we're going to go into the neg on this close to the end. At -1, that's fine. I think that we had, like, such a horrifically bad start, and then kind of converting that over into this, you know, completely different build into the mid game is fairly nice. And so again, like the way that you're looking to make each of these comps is we kind of kicked off with that food start. I thought that we had great progression into a food start. We, you know, lost some hearts early, just not getting anything really coming together. But then, like, when we found the Greatsword and kind of pivoted over, we didn't have the stuff you really want to have a Greatsword comp, right? You're really looking to hit the Greatsword on that 5 empowered, and we didn't have the shell totems to get the empowered early to get the Greatswords up and running into that fast mode. And so, like, with this, I'm fine. Having a game to where we only lose 1 LP where everything went completely wrong feels good to me. And so I think if, you know, the food comp would have hit, we would have definitely been in the spot to pop off. And then didn't happen, is what it is. The Greatsword carried us to a net tie. And so I think that was pretty good at the end of the day. And so, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too. That is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. And you had a good time watching. This is Bustin' Me. Thank you for being here.